Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the ESL Mobile Open. I'm your host, Paul, and Baron Todd Keel, and we're back for the fall season of 2021, and I cannot wait to dive into all the action once again. But I can't do it alone. Glitter Explosion is back as well to help break down all these awesome plays, check out these awesome players. It's a good time.
I am so excited to be here. I missed you guys, okay? I feel like there was something lacking in my life when we weren't getting these weekly check-ins, so I'm glad to get this thing started again.
So am I, because look, the first season, it was epic. It was intense. The challenge season, the culmination of it was crazy. But look, it's a new season, new opportunities, and as we're going to see later on in the show, a lot of new faces are taking advantage of it. Plenty of opportunities for new squads to make a name for themselves, because that's what this program is all about. It's all about giving players an opportunity to compete in mobile esports. Folks who may never have competed before, or those like on the cusp, that semi-pro level, looking to take it to the next level. There's a lot happening here in our program and around the world, so let's take a look at how it all works.
Welcome to ESL Mobile, the home of mobile esports. ESL Mobile is a global program designed to give you an opportunity to compete in your favorite mobile games, featuring multiple game titles, taking place in 3 regions and offering 2 levels of competition. There's something here for everyone. ESL Mobile Open is the gateway to competitive play, free to join and open to any resident of our supported regions. This is the best way for you to enjoy the thrill of victory and take your shot at winning cash prizes. Each season of Mobile Open will consist of 2 ladders, and the top competitors from each will qualify for the Mobile Open play-ins. ESL Mobile Challenge is your path to glory. If you are a top competitor in the Mobile Open play-ins, you will earn a spot in the Mobile Challenge season. The top team from each ladder will skip the play-ins and qualify directly for the Mobile Challenge season. This is where you'll have the chance to compete against the best players in your region. At the end of each season, top Mobile Challenge players will compete in the Mobile Challenge Finals to determine a winner and be crowned their region's champion. ESL Mobile is for everyone. This is your opportunity to join a diverse and growing community of players across the world and see just how far you can go.
All right. Now that you guys know exactly how this entire thing is formatted, we're going to talk to you a little bit about what this show is. If you guys weren't here with us last season, okay, this is our weekly recap show of everything that goes down every single week in our ESL Mobile Open. We've got some sweet highlights. We have some awesome content from some amazing personalities in every single community, all as we are watching both new and old competitors work their way up our standings.
And you're going to hear us talk about that a lot tonight because, look, there have been a lot of seasons of the Mobile Open, some iteration over the last few years, which means we've got a lot of teams and a lot of players who have competed. But this season in particular, so many new faces are showing up, and I cannot wait to see what they can do as they look to challenge, upset some of those established forces. But let's start things off with Brawl Stars, one of those mobile challenge titles that you all know and love, a new addition to our program here, but one that has absolutely blown me away. The level of skill these players can display is crazy, and we definitely recognize a few of those mobile challenge teams that I'm talking about, Glitter, but they aren't in that top spot.
They are not. You guys can see they're at the very top of the leaderboard. We've got a new name in QSJ with a pretty solid lead over the likes of Aqua, OOO, Stamina Esports. I mean, these are names that we've seen from our previous season, not currently in that top spot. So like we said, new names who are not only on the leaderboard, but currently dominating that leaderboard. Also down there in 5th and 6th places, 2 new names as well. Watermelon. First of all, I love Watermelon, and then Tequila right under that, and the scores are very close in that 4th through 6th area.
I mean, those feel like a match made in heaven in some ways, I suppose, but no, Watermelon coming in. I think we're going to see some gameplay from them later on. Excited to see what they can do, and obviously a great, fantastic name coming in there as well. As we take a look at the rest of the top 16. Again, a couple of names we recognize, like Col2BGBG, but so many new faces, Monkeys in particular, Gallon Esports, Dark Roots. I'm excited to see what these teams are going to be able to do this season, because there's kind of a pretty established hierarchy in Brawl Stars here in North America, and I cannot wait to see if these squads can look to upset that a little bit as we take a look at some highlights here, Glitter, for Brawl Stars.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it a little bit there. We were looking at the leaderboards, but we're going to be checking in with some of these games that were between Aqua and O.O. Now, This is actually a really, really big deal because these are our number 2 and number 3 teams respectively. And I anticipate, Paul, that these teams are going to be battling it out to see which one of them will end up at the top at the end of all of this.
They are indeed. I mean, that's until a team like, I don't know, like a Tribe Gaming or an IX comes in to maybe try and upset that a little bit, because these are two teams that had fairly good success over the course of the mobile challenge, but couldn't quite find their footing here. Well, Aqua certainly found their footing in this one, a pretty dominant performance in that bounty game. O.O, of course, being known as the Coordinated Thugs in our first season of that mobile challenge. But it seemed like Aqua came in with a game plan in this first match. But not to be outdone, showed us that they could certainly hang with the best here going up against the Monkeys. And look, Monkeys put up a heck of a performance here, but O.O was just consistently able to go just that little bit bigger. But I have to give props to Monkeys, though. The second you think that maybe they're down and out, they are able to make some pretty stellar plays. O.O, though, maybe just looking to get that little bit bigger. I'm so impressed at how evenly matched so many of these games were, Glitter.
Yeah, and that's what I love about this first week. You know, we're trying to kind of feel things out and see where some of these things will shake out. And they're going to change moving forward for the rest of the weeks. We're still on with O.O right now and Monkeys. Now, Brawl Ball is one of my favorite modes here, okay?
Oh, yeah.
There is going to be some insanity that we'll see coming up here in just a minute. And that's really speaking to the level of competition that I hope we continue to see throughout the rest of this entire ESL Mobile. And as you guys saw right there, a team wipe, okay? All 3 down to get 2-0 on the board. So, I mean, come on, O.O, like, that's impressive.
Seriously, that team play there at the end. What you doing, dog? I love the name on that Rosa. That charge was absolutely silly. As we're speaking of charges, we're seeing it here with QSJ taking on Stamina Esports. Stamina trying to take it down, but being unable to do so. Enough, though, in that final push to win this particular game, but we're not able to win the whole darn thing. QSJ actually able to take this set over them, as you can see here, with some absolutely crazy bounty play. I mean, Stamina Esports, they gotta go in. They gotta make a play. They're down in terms of stars, but I gotta give so many props. QSJ able to hold on up against some incredible pressure. Their defensive play really stood out to me here. That gene pull into the pickup, giving them the numerical advantage. Yeah, they ended up going with that negative trade, but being able to come back right at the end, huge play from them, winning that one 13-7. That's what you like to see from that number 1 seed.
1 second on the board. I mean, impressive gameplay. It shows exactly why QSJ deserves to be in that number 1 spot. Now we just have to wait and see whether or not they'll be able to hold on to that moving forward.
That's the big question. This is still very much early days. We got 4 weeks of this ladder ahead of us, or 3 more, I should say, which means there's plenty of opportunities for folks to come in and upset things just a little bit. But you know what I'm not upset about? Ash being back once again on the show to break down some plays this time around and take a look at some of these best plays, I should say, yes, from this first week. Let's take a look.
What's up, guys? I'm Ash, and welcome back to another season of the ESL Mobile Open, where we're going to be covering some of the best teams in North America. This week, they played hundreds of matches, guys. So today, I'm going to give you guys my ranking of the top 5 plays that I believe were the best this week. Let's start. At number 5, we have this amazing matchup between Stamina Esports and a powerful new team called Watermelon. We're going to start off with Bobby right here, going for a clean pull on the opposing Gene, giving his team a 3v2 here, forcing Chepo and Charles back. Now check out OG. He's going to sneak on the left. He's 1 hit away from getting his Sandy Super. He's going to get it right here, drop it, and now Chepo does have his pull with this Terra. He's going to go for a quick pull, unable to take out OG, and then check out Zar. He's going to use the breakthrough gadget, open up the middle while allowing OG to sliver in the goal with just a couple seconds left in this game, taking it to overtime. This extremely clutch goal not only extended the game, it ultimately allowed him and his teammates to take the victory. Wow. At number 4, we have QSJ versus Monkeys. The map is Snake Prairie, and it's tied at 8 stars right now. QSJ does have the blue star, but they got to be careful. Trader's very low. And check out MW. He's going to capitalize on that, quickly sniping him and taking a 2-star lead for his team. With only 30 seconds left, they're going to quickly retreat, forcing QSJ to make an aggressive play. Trader's going to miss his pull, and now they're very low right now. They got to heal up, but they don't have much time. There is only 20 seconds left. Can they get a kill? Look at Reaper here. He's got an opportunity. He's going to take out Knight, but then Edlu's going to drop his Rosa gadget to slow down the enemy bow, allowing MW to get another clean snipe with max damage, ambush, star power to get the kill and escape with the win. What a back and forth clutch game. Wow. At number 3, we have this incredible game between Stamina Esports and O.O. Now, O.O is running a very off-meta comp in Heist that you almost never see. Poco, BB, and Max. By the way, this BB sneak level is over 9,000. Check this out. She's going to sneak in this bush, which kind of forces Stamina to play a guessing game against her. Bobby tries to use his Piper super to lure in the BB, but fails to, as the BB just destroys him there. And now Stamina, they're kind of in trouble. They have to either remove this BB, but instead what they decide to do is they're going to try to out DPS the other team, knowing that their comp, they can do so. So all 3 of them are going to here target the enemy safe, which was a very good idea. But then this happens as Toast drops his max super, speeds his teammates up, and then the BB comes in from behind with a backside attack to go for a triple trap attack and finish off the enemy team with just too much heal and speed support. That was an insane team wipe that lead to a quick turnaround and a victory by O.O with a very unconventional comp. That was amazing. At number 2, we have QSJ facing off against Stamina. So far, it looks like Stamina is in control over this game, having control of the mid zone. But then Zetsu here makes an amazing teleport play with his Surge to quickly take out OG. And Reaper sneaking in from the back. Can they get control back over this game? Zetsu, being aggressive, has already upgraded to the final stage with his Surge. And now QSJ reclaiming control. Are they going to be able to take the lead in percentage? Let's see, 74, 75, 76, 77. They have taken the lead, but now Stamina being aggressive. Czar with the super from his Rico, keeping back QSJ. Zetsu still doing a really good job, staying alive with just 64 HP. And now he's still going to be aggressive, as this is a super close game. 91% to 88. Reaper's going to go down. Now it's up to Zetsu and Czar. Zetsu's going to... He's gonna enter the Matrix here, dodging a million bullets from Rico, which was just barely enough for his teammates to get back in play and escape with the victory. That was some next level survival mode by Zetsu. Wow. And for our number 1 top play of the week, we have Aqua versus IX Academy. Now, Aqua has a pretty nice 4-star lead here and the blue star. Minwon has to be careful, though. He's carrying 4 stars with the blue star. Fortunately for him, Lucky Bear here is targeted by Bell's super, making it easier for him to take him out. So Minwon's now going to be very aggressive, going for that 1v1 against Lucky Bear here. Is he going to be able to take out Lucky? He is going to be able to take him out barely, just enough. And now they have a 6-star lead. Looking very good for Aqua right now, with just about 15 seconds left. Lucky Bear is going to drop his tick head, which is going to go around the wall here against Minwon. And is he going to be able to take him? He's going to be able to take out Minwon, but it's not enough. They still have a 3-star lead. Luki's going to drop another tick head to take out Jigsaw. And with just 1 second left, took out Slash. A triple kill by Luki. Wow. An insane triple kill sweep in the final remaining 8 seconds of the game by Lucky Bear to steal the game. That is undoubtedly our top play of the week. Wow. Man, those are some amazing plays. It was really hard for me to rank all of them. So let me know if you agree with my rankings, or, if you have your own opinion on which play you think is the best. Hope you guys enjoyed it, though. Thank you guys so much for watching. Now let's head back to the desk.
Okay, it is the first week and already we have multiple team wipes. We have multiple barn burners down to 1 second on the clock in just his top clips alone. I mean, how? This is what happens when you've got a little bit of experience from the first season. You come on into the next one ready to go. I mean, this was exciting.
Yeah, and what I loved about it too was it wasn't just the top teams that we all know and love. There was some new blood in there as well, coming in, making their names known. But yeah, those final seconds, that's what I love about Brawl Stars. It's never over until it's over. The second you think one team has an advantage, the other squad will just come in and wreck them all. And I cannot wait to see how these next 4 weeks unfold as we get towards our first play-in. But that's our first game done. We still got 4 more in store for all of you, which means that we need to head to a short break. Before we do, though, ! Social in the chat. That's the command that you can use to find all the great things we're doing over on social media. Make sure you stay up to date and be sure to check that out because we're posting a lot of cool stuff over there. All right, we're going to do a short break. When we come back on to the next one, it's all about Clash of Clans.
I go ready for it. Ready for it.
Welcome back to the ESL Mobile Open. I am your host, Glitter Explosion.
And I'm Verum.
You know, we're doing great at that. We're gonna get better at that. It's fine. We're beautiful butterflies.
What?
We matched today. Everything was great.
I thought we were okay.
It's time for us to move into some Clash of Clans. After we started off the day very strong, Verum, with Brawl Stars. Yeah. So now Clash of Clans has a lot to live up to.
I agree. I think looking into this, a lot of these veteran squads going to have to watch themselves if they're not. Some of these new teams coming up there. Volume 0 up at the top. Volume 0, the team that heartbreakingly didn't make it to the ESL Mobile Challenge Finals for our spring season. They were so close. I think a lot of folks had them as one of the dark horses coming into this, but they're saying, hey, that's okay. We can shake that one off. We're coming in at first place. Golden X, though, another hyper veteran team up there as well. And Happy Endings, our other challenge squad, making an appearance there in that 5th place spot. But Glitter, there's one name in particular here that caught your eye.
Okay, I love the very slight name change for hydrogen shaming, okay? I don't know if it's because they are feeling the shame themselves or if it's because that's what they plan to do against all of their competitors this time around. But either way, I am a fan of it.
I am indeed. We'll see if they're going to put their opponents to shame with some high-level gameplay. Coming in pretty strong, though. To start things off, we'll keep an eye there. A lot of other familiar names. Another Golden X roster, Cosmic Regime. Many Golden X rosters. Space Station Gaming down there with their August Mobile Open roster edition. They didn't get a chance to play a ton, but they're still looking pretty darn solid. But they were not undefeated, though, which is maybe surprising to some, considering finished third place in our first season of the Mobile Challenged and finished with a perfect war, I might add. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from this first week. Actually, starting off with SSG going up against the A team. Definitely want to take a look at those highlights, Glitter.
Yeah, I mean, I feel you kind of led into it here, Paul, but this is going to be the A team going up against SSG. Obviously, SSG being one of those names, them and Train Station Gaming as teams that we were always looking to last season as top contenders. And then this time around, believe it or not, Paul, the A team is going to be the one that is going to be the stronger competitor in this situation. And like we've been saying, new names on our leaderboard, taking out literally kings of clans right now.
Absolutely. Just one of these powerhouse squads. But, I mean, coming in here, Becky, with that really solid Queen Charge Lalo, these ring bases, the pretty high risk, high reward as Leknos is experiencing here. Lex, of course, someone very familiar to those in the community, getting 3-starred here at the end. Only a few seconds to spare and getting it done. Absolutely massive from the A team. That's the kind of play that you're looking for as we're taking a look at Golden X and Happy Endings going at it as well. Happy Endings making it to that top 4 of our first season of the ESL Mobile Challenge. Some great Blizzard play to start things off here from Panda Cuban, but I just have to say overall, this is one of these things that makes me so excited about the future of competitive Clash of Clans, because there's just so much esports content out there right now between us, the World Championships. There's so many ways to see what these top players are doing. And especially with a game like this, Glitter, when the meta is constantly shifting, evolving, and updating, having access to that kind of content is so important.
Oh yeah, especially when these new players are trying to get into the game and figure out how to get better. I think now there's so much more availability of that content so that they can learn new strategies. They can, learn new ideas they might not have thought of themselves to improve their gameplay. And that's going to be absolutely massive for any of these newcomers to the competitive scene, because improving their game is obviously the main focus. And speaking of that here in Virum, Volume 0 versus Golden X. Like you were saying before, Volume 0, one of those teams that just barely missed out on finals. It feels like they have something to prove currently in first place right now. They're not going to let that happen again.
Especially because in this matchup, Volume 0 beat the number 3 team Golden X. In that last video, we saw Golden X taking down Happy Endings, who was the team to usurp Volume 0 to make it to the top 4 of the last season of. I feel like the guy with in the front of the whiteboard. You know what I mean? With all the strings and the connect. I pieced it all together here. The transitive property. This team beats this team, but no. I think even as a little victory like this here at the end for Volume 0, beating a team like Golden X, who just took down the squad that outed them, going towards that top 4 and Happy Endings. A lot of fun storylines here. It's only the first week. Absolute insanity. And we're seeing different strategies too. I saw a lot of Blizzard coming in, which was a strat that we saw a little bit more towards the start of the challenge, but it sort of phased out. Saw some good Queen Charge Lalo in there, which is just always super consistent. So it seems like the teams, while they're still sticking to the air, they're making some adjustments along the way as well. And who better to break down exactly what they're doing, Glitter, than our one and only Clash with Eric. He's back once again to help break down some plays. Let's take a look.
Hey, thanks guys. You are not going to believe what we're already seeing as the next season of the ESL Mobile Open kicks off. Brand new strategies and unused spells that are being used in massive numbers now. You gotta see this. Let's go check it out right now. So there's a brand new strategy that just broke into the scene in Clash of Clans, and they're just getting into the hands of these pro players. This is stay away from lost metagaming. He was in the runner-up team to the ESL Mobile Challenge Champions Train Station Gaming. So just a brilliant team here in general, but they're starting to hone this brand new strategy, which we've seen with 2, 3, and 4 clones, but it is mass clone dragons. We send in the heroes to form a basic funnel, grab an air defense and a major defense, and then we shoot the dragons into the base there with basically no spell support. We send the blimp through the dragons with the ward ability. Even if it lands into a tornado trap like this, the clones spawn outside of the tornado and they just tear up a massive section of the base. That was a rage and 3 clone spells dropped into that area. He also put in an earthquake, which I thought was kind of interesting. We've seen this with 4 clones where we just throw all 4 clones into that section of the base and go for even more carnage. And there was one thing in this that I thought was a little bit odd, and that's that he didn't bring a dragon inside of his blimp. And I really feel like that is a very important part of this attack here, although you can see that he just absolutely ripped this base up here even without that. But it does help to deal with enemy heroes that you land on and deal with the enemy CC while you have all those balloons providing the tanking, and that dragon would come out in the rage. Like the couple extra balloons there, like 4, doesn't really help that much when you have 28 other ones spawned on top of it, potentially, depending on how many clones you want to use. So maybe bring the dragon in there instead and have a little bit more effectiveness to this attack here. But you can see the damage, the carnage that this is causing here. And what's interesting about going with 3 clones is he gets a little bit of additional spell support that he's using to either protect his heroes or to protect the dragons, and then they can push through a little bit stronger. Now, this enemy queen still standing on the left side of the base could have been a problem here if he didn't get the dragons to regroup on top of her, and that's why I think that the best CC to put inside of that blimp is going to be a dragon and then 5 balloons. But definitely still a lot of testing and progress here as people continue to play with this brand new strategy. But let's go check out another variation with 2 clones. So here's another variation, also from Stay Away, which you gotta hand it to him. Brave to bringing out these brand new strategies, these pretty much untested strategies, and take him into tournament wars, especially when you're playing against Space Station Gaming in the ESL Mobile Open. This is obviously a powerhouse team here, but this strategy is really strong here. In this one, he brought in 2 clones, 2 invisibilities, and 2 earthquakes. Now, if you are going to go with a full CC of balloons, you probably are going to need that earthquake there, because not only is it going to soften up all the structures on that blimp drop, but if the blimp damage doesn't actually hit the town hall, if it gets hit by a tornado trap, then you can put one of the clones directly on top of the town hall outside of the clone to still spawn some balloons on top of it, and then you can activate the town hall with the earthquake. So it's a nice fail-safe here, but bring in 2. I mean, why not? It does soften up a lot of the structures in the area, but the king and the queen charge in the right-hand corner, the dragons go in the top side, and then he just double clones the blimp drop there, quakes it out there, rages it up, and it hits the tornado trap again, but still clears a massive section of the base. Now, the interesting thing about this variation of it is, well, not only does that earthquake soften up some of the structures for the dragons to make them move through a little bit faster, but then you have the other spell support like that freeze onto the queen to be able to carry her through, and then you have a lot of additional spell support to push a Royal Champion charge through the base here. So you have the invisibilities, you have the freezes, and on these more spread out bases where there's not quite as much value right at the town hall, maybe sacrifice a couple of the clone spells and still nuke that compartment hard, but then have a little bit of extra spell support for your Royal Champion to move through. And also notice that a lot of his stuff wanted to deal with the enemy heroes. Like, he charged the enemy Royal Champion first. He used the freeze to deal with the enemy queen. You don't want your dragons with outrageous and a lot of spell support to really be vulnerable, so that can alleviate that. I feel like every time I turn around, somebody's breaking out some crazy new strategy that we never even would have thought of, and that's what this game is all about. And to break it out in the competition here while they play through the ESL Mobile Open ladder, it's awesome to see here, and I absolutely love it. All right, guys, back to you at the desk.
Okay, we talked about how important this content was to teach players new strategies or just keep them up to date on what's even happening. And Stay Away tries 2 new ones the first week of the Mobile Open. I mean, that is brave, but that's super clutch for anybody who's learning as well.
I mean, look, if you're familiar with this man's hat choices, you'd fully understand the bravery involved in bringing this out. That is a very specific niche joke for those of you who tuned in to our Clash Challenge season so far. But no, I 100% agree. I even heard Eric talking about this exact strategy when we were doing the finals last Thursday. He was so hyped on it, so I'm very happy that we were able to find some examples of it to show off this week, because it's one he was like, him and Echo talking, you'd think this was like the craziest thing he'd ever heard. It was just absolutely incredible to watch. And if you want to make sure that you're not only watching, but playing in this yourselves, if you're a fan of Clash of Clans, Brawl Stars, Clash Royale, any of these games, be sure to go sign up right now, because we're only just finishing the first week of our first ladder. Still plenty more opportunities to get involved. Lots of prize money on the line, because I don't know, it's almost like we doubled our prize money for a lot of our games, like our next one, Asphalt 9 Legends, which is coming up, Glitter. Very excited to talk about that as well. We'll see you in a few.
Welcome back to the ESL Mobile Open. I'm Glitter Explosion.
And I'm Inverum.
And it is time to get into yet another game. But before we do that, we want to talk to you guys a little bit about AnyKey. It's something we talked to you about all last season, and we're going to continue doing that. If you don't know what it is, it's an initiative that is going to be promoting diversity and inclusion in gaming and esports. You can go on over to AnyKey.org to check out more information on that. And you need to sign that GLHF pledge, right, Paul? Because it's just an amazing thing to do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Over 1 million signatures already on this pledge. Pledging to be a better online digital citizen, stand up against harassment and toxicity where you see. You get that exclusive badge on Twitch if you're watching over there. If you see me type it in the chat, you'll see that I've got it. And I absolutely recommend that you go check it out, read up a little bit more about it. It is an amazing cause. Like AnyKey is absolutely amazing, so is Asphalt 9 Legends. Another one of our fantastic titles here. And Glitter, this is one in particular I know that you quite enjoy.
I'm not going to lie. I do. It's beautiful. It's a well-done game. I love watching all of our competitors every single season. So, I mean, should we just jump on into the leaderboards and see how everybody fared this week?
I think that we do. I think that we do because we had some blisteringly fast times from
we have a famous person.
We do.
Well,
I'm just gonna. You know what? We're just gonna lean into it. That's definitely Olivia Rodrigo up there at the top. Hope she's doing great, and apparently not only a great singer but also Asphalt 9 Legends Racing. Absolutely stellar there. A lot of other names up there that you may recognize. Jay and Marf returning, as well as Quiet Riot 92. But still a few seconds there. That 62 seconds is that's like a full second faster than everyone else. That is wild.
Yeah, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when it comes to a game like Asphalt 9, that is an insane amount. So shout out to Olivia Rodrigo for doing such an amazing job here in week number 1. The J coming in right after her. But this is just our iOS leaderboard. Let's move on over to Android and see how they fared over there. We've got A9UF Pickle, fantastic name, coming in first place here for week number 1, followed very closely by MXA Drago. I mean, once again, we're seeing so many new names on this leaderboard. Guys, I love it. Keep coming in and playing in our mobile open.
Oh, 100%. I mean, anybody who has the app can play in this time-limited event. You don't have to go. You can literally play it from within the app. You can race over and over again, trying to improve the time, scrape those milliseconds off of it. I'm not surprised to see some players like RPM Lightspeed up there as well. RPM, one of the biggest clubs within the game. As we're taking a look at some of our clips, starting things off with our number 1 Android race, I should say, with Pickle up there at the top. And not in a pickle, to say the least. They're feeling pretty darn good after this performance.
No, honestly, Pickle is essentially setting the bar for all of these other Android players. I mean, it's week 1, but this was a phenomenal run to start out the gate. You guys will notice that not only is it a new car, but we're now in New York City. So things are a little bit different here. We're going to have to see what exactly Pickle did differently than some of his other competitors that resulted in that first place finish. I mean, so far, it seems like a pretty flawless run here in Virum.
I mean, it does. One of the things that always impresses me, even from like the first seasons of Asphalt to now, is there are so many little tricks. Like right here, going for the wall ride, getting into that perfectly so that it keeps your speed. It's crazy how fast you have to be on the controls, these tiny little movements in order to make those plays happen. And it's just series of trick after trick after trick, and it's the way they're able to chain them all together, I think, that impresses me the most. Now we're seeing MXA Drago over on the iOS platform, and wow, just, again, pretty similar start, but just the way they're able to just balance their nitro so perfect. Look at that flat spin right back into it, into the drift, off the ramp. These players are only speeding up.
I think MXA Drago is our number 2 for Android.
Oh,
actually.
Yes,
and
not on iOS yet.
And if I'm not mistaken, I actually believe that MXA Drago decided to take a little bit different route here compared to Pickle right there on that bridge. Pickle stayed on the lower side of things, whereas Drago made his way over to the right side to hit the ramp and then dropped back down for the second ramp. And in this particular scenario, it actually didn't work out in their favor. We see that Drago was so close, but just barely ends up squeaking in behind Pickle for that overall time. Now, was it that specific route choice, or was it just maybe the timing of some nitros, missing a 360 here and there? I don't know, but that was a difference that I noticed in that run.
Absolutely, and we'll see which route the J opts to go for here. Now, at the time of recording this, Jay was that first place player before that blistering run from Olivia Rodrigo. So we'll see how this run from the J ends up comparing to those Android players, as it's still incredibly fast. I think actually the fastest overall time. There were some slight differences with iOS and Android in that regard. But yes, did actually end up going for that upper route, drops back down, then hits the 360 and ends in that same spot. So going for that additional route there. Interesting to see how these players are opting to go for it.
I mean, he did it well, okay? It looked clean, so the J is just completely crushing it right now. And clearly, in this scenario, that route actually worked out very, very well for them, because at the time, like you had said in Virum, this was the first place run. These leaderboards obviously are ever-changing because that's just how many competitors we have trying to keep themselves in that top spot. But fantastic run from the J.
Yeah, incredible. And this is just the first one of the season. We have many more weeks of this to come. These players are all vying for that top spot to make it to the finals of this first ladder. Can be casted by, I don't know, maybe another fantastic content creator by the name of Firam, who's back once again to dive a little bit deeper into some of these races and see exactly how the players went. Let's check it out.
Thanks, Paul and Glitter. I am stoked to be back for another season of ESL Mobile Open. My name is Firam, and I will be your co-host in the North American division of the Asphalt 9 finals of the Fall 2021 season. For the next few weeks, I'm going to be showing you the top runs on both iOS and Android in the qualifiers, which are open right now. If you would like to have a chance to be featured in one of these recaps and perhaps even be casted by me in the final rounds, definitely be sure to go to the Daily Events tab in Asphalt 9 and play the qualifier today. Now, let's take a look at this week's winners. Starting with the top one on Android, A9 UF Pickle. This season, the players are going to be using the Bugatti Chiron, which is one of the best and fastest cars in the game, and this time they're going to be playing in New York City. This track has a lot of variety to it, so the Chiron can shine in many different ways. It has some twisty sections where the Chiron's really good handling and drifting come into play, and it has some longer and straighter sections which are coming up right now, where the Chiron's high top speed definitely allows it to pull ahead. Throughout these races, you will see a couple of relatively new techniques that have been discovered within the past year in Asphalt 9 that allow higher-end cars such as the Chiron to take turns faster, which are the floaty drifting and the punch drifting. Punch drifting is where you hit nitro and then brake again right in the middle of drifting, which pushes your car a little bit toward the outside of the track, but it also gives you a little bit of a speed boost. And a floaty drift is where you do a 360 in the opposite direction of a turn right before the turn, which allows you to get better speed drifting around that turn. And A9UF finishes his race with a final time of 1 minute, 4 seconds, and 139 milliseconds. Next up, the winner of iOS's first qualifier, the J. You will probably notice that the two runs are extremely similar in what the racers do, and after this race, I am going to be showing a side-by-side slowed down comparison of the two to show you just how close they are and perhaps any minute differences that you might miss when you're just watching them separately. One thing I noticed right away was that the J went higher on this ramp and got 2 barrels instead of just 1. And then he 360s off this ramp and lands perfectly, pointing him over to the right so he can go up over the ramp on the right, then jump down, keeping a lot of momentum, because in Asphalt 9, if you can get a string of ramps and stay in the air a lot throughout them, you really can build up a lot of speed and keep it for longer than you might be able to otherwise. The J again goes up the ramp over to the left, just like a 9UF Pickle did. Let's see if he does anything else really different, or if the one section toward the middle of the race will be the big differentiator between the two. And it looks like the J takes the same route toward the end of the race, floaty drifting around the final turn. He finishes with a real time of 1 minute, 3 seconds, and 679 milliseconds. I'm now going to show both racers' laps side by side with the Pickle on the left and the J on the right. Toward the very beginning, they look very similar, almost like they could be the same race. But then, Pickle uses his nitro and the J doesn't. Again, just very little differences, but a bunch of little tweaks that may only be a couple of frames apiece could add up to like half a second in the end. Pickle is actually ever so slightly ahead at this point. It seems like his early nitro did pay off. They both save up nitro and then shockwave off the right wall of the tunnel to gain some airspeed. Then they both do a 360, leading into a floaty drift to get around this next turn faster. Again, both of them go over to the left to pick up this barrel, and right now they are still practically tied. Now what I'm interested to see, and this might be one of the big differentiators between the races, is how the two different routes they take in the upcoming bridge section actually change their times relative to each other. They both 360 off that ramp, but Pickle stays down below while the J goes up to the right. And we can actually see coming up to this next ramp that the J has gotten a slight bit ahead, so it looks like the route that he took was maybe at least a few frames faster. However, Pickle does have slightly more nitro, allowing him to shockwave after this turn, but that really isn't that big of a deal since they go right into another turn directly afterwards. Here, Pickle keeps slightly higher speed, doing a punch drift in the middle of the turn to maintain that speed I was talking about earlier. But he loses a bit too much nitro in that first shockwave, causing him to have to save up for nitro a bit longer, doesn't even get a shockwave off that ramp there, and although he does do a floaty drift around this turn whereas the J doesn't, That one mistake back there, not being able to get enough nitro to shockwave off that ramp, is what I really think sets the two runs apart the most. In terms of route, yes, the differing routes of the bridge section earlier were certainly more different, but that slight difference in nitro handling was what really caused the most time difference. And thus, as they both do a floaty drift into their final turn, the J manages to beat Pickle by approximately half a second. I believe the iOS timer shown runs a bit too long, so that's why there's the little bit of a discrepancy there. And this wraps up our Week 1 recap. Back to you, Paul and Glitter.
Okay, we saw new strategies in clans, and now we see new techniques coming out of Asphalt 9. Floaty drifting and punch drifting. I did not know that it could just create new ways to drift after they had already nailed down so many.
I mean, this game has been out for literally years, and like floaty drifting had been a term that have been floating around for a while. But every time a new season rolls around, there's a new term. Punch drifting comes into, and I love how like while the routes made some differences, how close the players were, like one tiny thing, slightly misusing the teeniest bit of nitro, not having a shockwave for one ramp, literally spelling the difference between first and second. And we see that all the time. We see our head-to-head matches as well at the end of these ladders. It's wild to see, and I cannot wait to see how Asphalt 9 continues to deliver this season. But we're going to deliver some more action here after a short break with some Clash of Clans. Before we do, though, of course, exclamation point social in the chat. That was also supposed to be Clash Royale. Definitely have never mixed those two up ever in my life before. But certainly this is the first time, Glitter. The first one. All right, exclamation point social. Make sure you keep up to date with all the things over on social media, and we'll see you in a few.
Welcome back to the ESL Mobile Open. I'm Glitter Explosion.
And I'm in Verum.
And it is time for us to jump into yet another title. Clash Royale is up next on the list. And if Clash Royale is anything like what we've seen so far today, we are in for a doozy, Paul.
Yeah, I mean, a couple of names we recognize there. Latak making a return from our last season, but some new faces up here as well. Alex coming in with a really solid performance overall. Silent Spicy Nachos up there at the top. But definitely, if you're a Clash Royale player, someone looking to get involved, this is the time. Things are just getting started, so plenty of opportunities to put yourself on this leaderboard here. So if you are someone who has played some Clash Royale, I definitely recommend checking it out. We increased our prize pool last season, $1,000 for that first place spot. So I definitely recommend getting involved. As we take a look back at some of the best matches from this week, Alex, again, looks like someone who's pretty much nigh unstoppable. Latak, again, one of these familiar faces that we saw all last season, just getting steamrolled here. I mean, anytime an E-Drag gets on one of your towers like this and is able to just do its thing, it's like one of the saddest feelings in all of Clash Royale. But the way that Alex is able to hold and defend here, only 94 HP on that tower.
I mean, I think what's so impressive too is the fact that yet again we're in a scenario where these newcomers, these new names on the leaderboards are the ones that are at the top, that are just, whether it is, you know, they've been practicing through all of our last season or whatever they've done to get into this position. Latak is someone that we talked about many times last season. It's a very recognizable name when it comes to Clash Royale. And then you see Alex coming through in these matches. And first of all, that was an insanely solid match coming out of Alex. Now we move into yet another match with Alex, this time up against Silence. And in both of these scenarios, Alex just looks so good, so solid. You know, I mean, how at the very first week are you able to be this dominant?
I think it comes down to, honestly, just great, really good, solid, positive elixir trades, and also this idea that they're waiting for their opponents to make a mistake, create an opportunity, an opening, even that you see there, not being afraid to just counterpunch really well. And I mean, there's nothing you can do with it. These Princess Towers basically have no damage done to them. And he's always holding something back to be able to counter there at the end. I mean, you even saw in that first match, the snowball play into the miner to keep the tower alive. Little things like that go a long way. However, Alex is not invincible. We saw this matchup here up against Spicy Nachos. Alex started things off kind of far behind, despite going for this bit of a different play with this Electro Giant push. Wasn't really able to make much happen with it. We saw him play a couple different decks here, and I'm wondering if maybe that's part of the factor, as Spicy Nachos was just able to hold on here and just slowly chip down and away. Those hogs were getting in, able to do a little bit of damage every single time. Maybe have to lower a little bit of damage because it certainly added up, Glitter. And in the end, just nothing Alex could do to overcome it, trying to build up these really strong, powerful pushes, but Spicy Nachos utilizing not a whole lot of resources, able to get it done here, no problem, despite a potential nice play with that tornado there. Nothing they could do. 10 seconds left, and just like that, that was going to be the end of it. Alex losing this one here, but still a really solid performance overall.
Ooh, I think what that means to me is that while Alex might have come out of the gate very strong, we need to keep our eyes on Spicy Nachos, okay? Because they're spicing things up a little bit with their selections there for their
I haven't eaten dinner yet. You're telling me to keep my eyes on the Spicy Nachos. All right, Glitter. I see how this is going. All right, I see how this is going. But look, if you've tuned in before, you're not going to see what's in store for you next. We have a special guest joining us on the show, the one and only CWA Clash with Ash. Ash is here to break down the plays this week, and he's going to do a better job than I have. Let's take a look.
It's Ash here coming at you today in Clash Royale. Welcome to the video, guys. Gonna be a good one because we're gonna talk about two decks that dominated the competitive scene last week, played by, ironically, the same player, the #1 player right now in ESL's Clash Royale Mobile Open for fall 2021. All right, guys, so jumping into the action here, take a look at the deck at the top of your screen, right? Alex's deck. Soccer ball Alex or football Alex? What do you guys call it? I am a dirty American. I call it a soccer ball Alex. So either either way, Soccer Ball Alex, or Alex as he'll be referred to throughout the remainder of this video, is #1, the highest win rate inside ESL after the first week, and he leaned heavily on this deck. 2 very crucial victories, including this one here against Latak, who's another pro/semi-pro player who's been on the channel before as well, so a very good player at that. And check this out, the lightning value there with the Ram Rider connection going against Lava Loon. So the deck is so effective right now. We have Mega Knight, we have Dark Prince for kind of strong, robust ground support. We have Skeletons to distract and to keep our cycle going. We have the Inferno Dragon and the Electro Wizard for anti-air. And then our spells, of course, Lightning and the Snowball. A very, very good deck no matter what you're facing. And that's why this deck has excelled in ESL, guys, because there's not a ton of bad matchups for this deck. Even in a pinch, you can use that nasty defensive Ram Rider. So things don't open up looking that great for Alex here. He takes that balloon hit, takes the tower down to 334, but I want you guys to pay attention, not just to the counterattack here, but to our weak side tower, Alex's weak side tower, 334. Is that going to be enough HP left for it to hold on the remainder of the match? Wait till you see the ending on this one. So with a small, well, elixir pretty much even, we go ahead and cycle that Dark Prince in the back, and then Latak comes in with the miner, but we don't want to give him the tower, so we're going to go ahead and launch a snowball. There it is at that miner, pushing him away from the tower. Fisherman down to intercept that Dark Prince. Now it's going to be Lava Hound time here for Latak as we cross over into double elixir time. We get the Mega Knight, the big fella in the back, and we have a Ram Rider in tow. So Mega Knight Ram Rider, very difficult if you don't have a defensive building to stop a push like this. Even though he does have Fisherman, again, he had to time it just right to get the Fisherman to lock onto the Ram Rider and not the Mega Knight, and that was not the case. Easier said than done. So a bunch of damage, even from the Mega Knight, still pounding on that left-hand tower. 722 HP remaining as we have 25, 24, 23 seconds ticking off the clock here. But look at this defense, guys. We have a full health balloon making contact with the tower, but we use the defensive lightning and we keep that tower alive. It felt like that tower was gonna go down, guys, but that was not the case. Here we go, 5 seconds remaining, make it 4, 3, 2, miner on the tower, snowball pushes it back, and Dark Prince catches the miner after the snowball. Very well played, and what an ending there from Alex, preventing that miner from taking down the tower, in which case it was really anybody's game. I want to showcase the best Hog Rider deck going on in the game right now, at least in my opinion. It is the Hog Rider Tesla deck, but with the Fire Spirit as well. It gives you another good option against bait decks. Bait is not in a great spot right now, but all these swarmy decks, whether it be just Mother Witches or Skeleton Barrels, as we saw the last match, it's nice to have two great answers in your hand, especially with charging units, so you can save your log. And of course, Fire Spirit does counter the Goblin Barrel and a lot of other swarm units on one or in one shot, in one shebang for one elixir as well. I'm a big fan of the new Fire Spirit. What about you guys? We go ahead and we use the Firecracker. Is going to be so annoying in this deck, in this match. Alex, by the way, again is featured in this replay, but this time it's not the E-Giant deck. Alex made the decision to go with the E-Giant instead, and it may have cost him. Even though Alex has the Goblin Cage and the Tornado in this deck, he still has a lot of difficulty contending with Spicy's Hog Rider Valkyrie Tesla deck. I'm a big fan of it. I think you guys will like it as well. So Firecracker comes down just in the nick of time there for Spicy, and she stays alive as well. Kind of an awkward hand here for Alex. He can't get that King Tower activated, so instead he saves his elixir, and it looks like he's probably going to go with an E-Giant in the back. And he does. So E-Giant is played behind the King Tower. Now, how are we going to prepare for this if you're Spicy? We know he has Lightning, so we drop a Valkyrie in the back. He has Lightning in hand as well. He has NATO selected, that's Alex. He switches to Lightning in preparation for the Tesla tower. So here comes the Tesla. Lightning probably going to come down here, and it does. We cycle here. Skeletons on the E-Giant. They get a little bit of damage before they're absolutely annihilated, and then we go with the Fire Spirit as well. So things could have been so much worse there. We hold the Mother Witch only to 2 extra hits on the tower as well. We still maintain the damage advantage, and then we go in with the Hog and Earthquake, and Hog able to kind of get around everybody and connect to the tower, taking it down to 740. We want extra Firecracker damage if we can get it. Unfortunately, we're not able to there, but we are able to keep her alive and protect her as she's constantly pushing herself back. We catch the opponent with not enough elixir to play the tornado and no Goblin Cage in cycle. Unfortunately, the Firecracker not connecting there to take that tower down with only 20 seconds remaining here inside regulation. So he has the NATO. He uses NATO first, but Tesla finishes off the E-Giant. 140 HP remaining on the tower. We Earthquake it down. 8, 7, 6 seconds. Now Alex has to get desperate. We play the Tesla high. Here comes the Dark Prince, but with 1 second remaining, there's not enough time for him to get anything going. Spicy walks away with the victory there. So guys, that's going to do it for today's highlight of ESL Mobile Open. Thank you guys for watching all the way till the end. All 3 of the deck links will be found in the comments or the show notes below, excuse me. Big shout out to Brenchon, to ESL, to Stats Royale, and to you guys, my YouTube partners. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, take care, guys.
Another title and another moment where we see more new strats coming out for this season. We saw Spicy there up against Alex, and we see that new deck come through by Spicy Nachos. Baby, that is why he was able to be the lone survivor of those Alex matches. What was that it?
I was definitely a factor there. It definitely felt like he had a better pacing on things. Again, we saw Alex doing a really good job with the counterplay, but just not able to get anything going on his own offense. So love the fact we were able to take a high-level look at those and then have CWA just really break it all down for us. Great stuff here. And look, if you're a fan of Clash Royale, if you want to get involved, if you want to get a part of that $3,500 prize pool, $1,000 for first place, go over, sign up, right? Oh, look at you. That was well done. That was sick. Look at that. Exclamation point, sign up in the chat. If you're here in North America, over in Europe, it doesn't matter. Go sign up for some Clash Royale action. There are plenty of opportunities to make some money this season and head on towards the finals for this first ladder. We're going to head to a short break, though. When we come back, it's our 5th and final game of the day. Glitter, it's all about PUBG Mobile.
Welcome back, everybody, to the ESL Mobile Open. I'm Glitter Explosion.
And I'm Verum.
And it is time for us to get into the last segment of the day. Okay, it is time for some PUBG Mobile. So let's just pull up those leaderboards and get right into it, Verum.
Let's do it. Tarntaron up there at the very top, followed by Overhaul Esports and All Stars Stars. Look, I'm doing a really good job talking tonight, and these teams are making it very easy to do that with these team names. But one of the things that is impressing me the most here, Glitter, other than the Knights up there in this top 8, these are basically almost all completely new squads breaking into the top 8 here in our first week. And given the sheer number of veteran PUBG Mobile teams here in North America, that is a statement.
Oh, yeah. I mean, once again, we love seeing all of these new names on our leaderboards, okay? We have, in seasons past, seen literal pro rosters competing in here against some of these up-and-coming squads. And right now, Tarn at the top with a commanding lead is looking pretty solid as we take a look here at the second half of our top 16. We do see Chivas Esports on there. That's definitely one of those names we're going to be recognizing from last season, but still continuing on with these new names here, Paul.
Absolutely, and so many squads from all across North America representing here. I love that you pointed out Chivas, Mexico, Blackwater as well. Like a lot of these teams who've put up some really impressive performances in past seasons, showing up in the top 16, but they got their work cut out for them, to say the least, if they want to catch up with a squad like Immortal. And this play, let's just say, Glitter, it's one that could go horribly, horribly wrong, but one they managed to somehow salvage.
Yeah, it was a really aggressive 2-2 split, right? You had two of them stay back and those two push up in the car and instantly one gets knocked, right? So it seemed like it maybe wasn't going to go so well, but they're able to get everybody back up on the squad, making it a nice, easy 4v2. So all they have to do at this point for Immortal is just kind of take their time, push up, try and get some vision on where they think that last squad might be, because they know that they're in a really, really safe position right now. There's some smokes out there, and in the end, there's just really no stopping the position that Immortals had.
Yeah, I mean, they just had the numerical advantage, the positional advantage, and that's just all she wrote. That's GG on the first one here. Now we're taking a look at Druidas coming in, and they had, a pretty solid series of kills. Already 6 kills at this point in the game. They've managed to keep all 4 players alive, though, Glitter, which is something we always talk about being such a key to success.
Yeah, and then, we also talk about how important it is to have some utility. You see them laying a lot of smokes out. Well, that last throwable was not a smoke. It was, in fact, a frag, as we switched on over to Luis's point of view. And as soon as they see the knock come out with that frag, the instant push from this team, the teamwork, knowing that they need to take the advantage when they can get it to try and close this thing out. It almost went poorly for them. It almost didn't work. And that was a little bit scary, but the way that this all closed out here in Verum, I think, is my favorite part.
I mean, look, as much as we're hyping up Druidas for getting this win, we got to give some props to Omega as well. I think he actually killed him with a contact from the grenade there, just as an aside.
What?
I'm pretty sure that, or we perfectly cooked it. We couldn't see the explosion on screen. I don't know what to believe. Twilight Zone, you tell us. But Omega almost actually pulled off that 1v4, which would have been absolutely sick. Not quite to be the case, though. As we're taking a look at Tarntaron here at the end, and this final little push from some of these teams, Glitter, the second you think, and we saw this all night, the second you think you're safe, the second you think anything is secure, it's not. Because these players, these teams, gotta respect their opponents, because we saw some almost clutch finishes.
Oh, yeah, and that's why I love what Tarn actually did here, because they made it a point to clear out anybody that was outside of this house. They knew that there was a player inside, so before they made that push in, they made sure there weren't any stragglers that they could get caught out by, and they did find one. It was just a solo, so they got rid of the solo, and then they're able to start making that push in. They kind of do a stagger push to split the focus of that last solo player and are able to easily clean up the win.
And that's exactly what I'm talking about. Don't let a situation like we almost saw in that second clip happen, where a player pulls off a crazy 1v3. They pushed in as a squad perfectly, covering all their angles. And look, final circle situations, they're not easy. They're stressful. This is a battle royale, which is kind of cool because we have a guest creator coming in this week to help break down some PUBG Mobile action. Her Gaming is here to help take us through some final circle. Let's take a look.
Hey guys, it's Her Gaming and welcome back. Now this might seem a little different than the content that you're used to seeing me upload, but it's something I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with. And if not, then welcome to this video. I've partnered up with ESL to bring you some of the most insane clutches, final circles, and just to give you a few tips and tricks when it comes to playing PUBG Mobile. If you're just an average player looking to expand your horizons in the land of PUBG Mobile, then ESL is definitely the place for you. You can sign up now in the link in my description if you're interested, build up your team, and dominate the battlefield. You might be thinking, Amelia, you're not a pro. And you're right, I'm not actually a pro. But I do have some good tips and tricks because I've been playing this game since Season 2 and I feel like I have some wisdom I can give off to someone who might just be joining and playing PUBG Mobile for the first time. When it comes to playing competitively or just playing as a casual player, it's important to have the right resources. And another great tactic is proning. Definitely something that will help give you that little bit of extra cover. It might just seem like a small ridge, but dropping to the ground and wiggling your way to the zone could definitely give you that little bit of extra time to get into the zone. Now, I'm no pro when it comes to pushing a compound. Ideally, you want to give yourself as much cover as possible, and sometimes you just have to send it and hope for the best. And I do that 99% of the time. Once you make it to the compound, after running for your life, be prepared to engage someone, as they'll likely be sitting on a fence at a window waiting for you. Just from my own experiences, jump scares aren't that fun under pressure. And you know what, if you can drop shot them, that is more credit to you because I do not know how to do that successfully. Now those are just some of the basic tips when it comes to playing PUBG Mobile. Those may be basic tips and I'm still learning how to do half of them. Making sure that you have the right sensitivity for your guns and for your scopes as well might actually help you being accurate with your shots as well. Another really handy thing to know when you don't have any cover. By all means, blow up a vehicle if there's one nearby. Using vehicles as cover is another good way to give yourself and your squad that cover you need. When it comes to final circles, you want the most cover as possible. You know what? Making sure that you're in a patch of grass rather than in just a pile of dirt might actually help save your life a little bit more too. Boosting up will also give you that advantage when coming to fight a squad. You want to be fully boosted when pushing a squad. You want to have the most health possible you can get when it comes to fighting any type of squad. So fully boosting will definitely give you that advantage as your health will start to regen rather than against someone that hasn't fully boosted and they don't have anything to back up their health. So definitely a good tip to know. Making sure that you're always aware of zone shifts as well. Being the first squad to hold center of zone has the biggest advantage in competitive play and in casual play as well, as you'll have full control and view of other teams rotating into the new zone. This will give you a better chance at eliminating teams as they rotate into the new zone. That is all the tips and tricks I have for you guys today in this video. Hopefully you've learned something new and you're going to apply that to your own game and your own skills. Maybe we might see you in the future of PUBG Mobile, maybe ESL. But anyway guys, thank you so much for being here and I will catch you guys next time. Bye guys.
I loved getting that new perspective from Her Gaming. That tons of tips and tricks for anybody who might be new to PUBG Mobile, trying to get into it a little bit, understand some of those core basics that will make you good at this game. So, you know, huge shout out to her.
Absolutely. And it's funny. It's because some of those things that, like, even if you've been playing the game for a while, just to hear them like stated against, like, yeah, like these are things that I should be thinking about. Sometimes you just like get into the same old habits. You don't always give it the thought that you should. It's like, yeah, okay, no, we need to go back to basics sometimes. And that's how we get better at all of this. And of course, if you want to get better, if you want to make sure you don't miss anything here, if you want to make sure you participate, all the cool things that we're doing with our ESL Mobile Open program this season, ! Social right down there below. Make sure you're following us over on social media. A lot of great content we're putting out here on Twitter, on YouTube, maybe even some stuff on TikTok and stuff coming out a little bit that you're going to want to check out as well. Ooh, yes, new things coming. And of course, Glitter, if they're not signed up, if they're a player, if they play some of these games, what should they be doing?
What have they been doing? How are you not already signed up? You need to do ! Sign up.
I know.
Get in on these games. I mean, you have an opportunity to not only make a name for yourself in the scene, but also there are prizes, okay? There is cash on the line. This could be your opportunity to take some home, so do not miss out on it.
Absolutely. Glitter, this first day has been pretty darn solid. I think the biggest thing that's really stood out to me is how many new faces are making an appearance here in our program. And that's what it's all about, helping us show off their amazing skills, their gameplay, and I cannot wait to see what the next few weeks have in store for us. That's it for us, though, tonight. See you next time.
Feel the light, see the stage, hear the vibe. Pumped up to get ready for the fight. Big dreams, one chance, be the star. I'm the winner coming out of the dark. No fear, getting ready for the ride. Yeah, stepping into the light. No limit, aim high. No limit, the prize is mine.
Step out as a motivator. Let them know that the weight's up. That's how we know when we level up. Ay, that's how we know when we level up.
Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? You know we fall and we get up. Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? It's time, get up.
Back against the wall, still I'm standing tall. Know about the ball, I got my fan with me. All we know is ball to empty out the mouth. The chosen one they call, I take my fan with me. Know about it if you tell, know you're breaking calls. Want your credibility and all fall like dominoes. Can you really take a stance? All I wanna know. Need me real ones when it's time to go. Stepping in, elevator. Listen to all the haters. That's all we know when we level up. Yeah, that's all we know when we level up.
Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? You know we fall and we get up. Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? It's time, get up. I found out I'm not alone, 'cause I'm just like you. There's no failing when we fight. We're not afraid to. Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? You know we fall and we get up. Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? It's time, get up. Feel the light, see the stage, hear the vibe. Pumped up to get ready for the fight. Big dreams, one chance, be the star. I'm the winner coming out of the dark. No fear, getting ready for the ride. Yeah, stepping into the light. No limit, aim high. No limit, the prize is mine.
Step out as a motivator. Let them know that the weight's up. That's how we know when we level up. Ay, that's how we know when we level up.
Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? You know we fall and we get up. Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? It's time, get up.
Back against the wall, still I'm standing tall. Know about the ball, I got my fan with me. All we know is ball to empty out the mouth. The chosen one they call, I take my fan with me. Know about it if you tell, know you're breaking calls. Want your credibility and all fall like dominoes. Can you really take a stance? All I wanna know. Need me real ones when it's time to go. Stepping in, elevator. Listen to all the haters. That's all we know when we level up. Yeah, that's all we know when we level up.
Level up.